Howdy folks, welcome back. It's October 6, 2020, heading into the Halloween season. Today we have another really nice GIGAPAN for you. It's a pretty good picture. I think you'll enjoy it. But before I get into that, I want to mention something. In my last video, I said that I had an epiphany on scale because scale is always such a difficult issue. And there is a gentleman by the name of Wayne, and Wayne has a channel on YouTube called MarsForm. It's a really, really great channel. He's got a lot of terrific insights, some great pictures. It reminds me very much of some of the other YouTube channels that are on Mars that are very, very cool. And I think you'll really enjoy this. So go check out MarsForm. He did have some ideas on scale, and I'm looking into those ideas. We're on opposite ends right now, but I think there's more to see. So we'll be looking at that. I had another idea, guys. I want to see what you think. I'd appreciate any comments you have on it, but I happen to know several people who have had UFO experiences, and I was thinking about trying to, see if I could read some emails to you on what they saw and what they experienced. And I want to invite everybody to send me an email if they also had a UFO experience, and then if they send me their email, I'll read it on the channel, and I think it'd be really cool. So let me know what you think of that idea. I don't know if I reach out to enough people to keep the emails coming, but I would really like to do that. I think it would be fun. So Curiosity Soul 1049. This is another one of those pictures that, of course, has a lot in it for us to see, and it's a very, very clear GIGAPAN. As I said before, that some of them are very, very clear and others aren't so much. This one mostly is. Again, I don't understand why certain areas in the same photograph aren't as clear as others, but that seems to be, pretty common. And right there in the middle of the screen is what looks like another one of those possibly one or two of the bridges that have broken off of the triangular craft. And I think instead of calling them a bridge, because it's a little bit confusing, I think I will call it a superstructure, because that's really what they call them. So and these are scattered around. I mean, you find them everywhere. They're just these kind of the same typical size approximately, and same kind of shape. And they just are laying around the outskirts of everything else, and I'm not quite sure they just break off. Look at all this square pattern in here. A lot of things sticking out. I don't know what all those things are, but you can definitely see the very square right angle corners here in this picture. So I think this idea of people emailing me their UFO experiences and me reading them, I think it'd be a lot of fun. I know I have a couple of those types of experiences, and another experience that was very, very strange. But I think the main thing that I want to get across to people is that talking about your UFO experience, sometimes raises eyebrows, and people might be inclined to be getting, or people might be inclined to ridicule people about their experience and make fun of them and all of that. And that's not what this is about. This is a place where you can send your experience, just tell us what you saw, and there will not be any ridiculing here on this channel. On the top of this area here, it looks like a fuselage of something that's obviously got a great big hole in the side of it. And it's piled up just like we see over and over in all the other buttes. This is not quite as tall of a butte as some of the ones we've seen in the past, but it is saturated with vessels. kind of a strange word calling it saturated, but that's what this whole area is made up of, are these different kinds of vessels. When I say that, I mean different size triangular crafts, because as far as I can tell, that's the only kind they have. And they come down, and the superstructures break off. Here's one down here on the left, possibly. Sometimes it might be just pieces of the inside of these vessels that have broken up and come out, because any vessel that you have, whether it's one that is for 200 people or 2,000 people or more, they're going to have levels, they're going to have floors. So much of what we see that comes down in the buttes is that it's the inside view of these crafts, because the outside has come off. All of the hull is typically fallen away and eroded away, and showing different layers on the inside. Right dead center looks like another one of those superstructures. It looks like it's on its top, and pieces of hull sticking up out of the ground, and some pretty good detail in the background there. This thing here kind of almost looks like some type of sculpture or something that's been broken up. The thing in the middle there's a large shard of, probably, no doubt, a piece of vessel sticking up. And the thing in front of it looks like it has the remains of a small turret with a gun on it. Maybe not on that. On the right side, you can see all of that hull, layers of hull there that is eroded over time. So, yep, I said before, and I'll say it again, as you know, I do a lot of that. But just to imagine what it was like the day all these vessels came down. What a horrendous experience that was, when many thousands of vehicles drop out of the sky and hit the ground. Another fuselage, and underneath it, it almost looks like a stairs, as if they survived it and they lowered the stairs and walked out of there. Looks just like that. And there's plenty of these layers in this picture, and plenty of pieces of hull on the ground everywhere. Great detail on the side of that area right there, and it almost looked like it had some missiles attached on the side. And this is a vessel here. This was a vessel. It's still somewhat connected as far as the superstructure area, or the bridge, we'll call it, superstructure. And this vessel, to me, looks like it was armed. I can't say that everything I'm looking at that's sticking out are missiles, but some of them definitely are. Some of them look like guns. On the top here, you can see the cockpit of this vessel with the pointy end of it there. And if you move to the right, you see the cockpit, the window. And I finally gave up on the drones, okay? I for the longest time, I would have sworn that these black things in the sky were drones. But I finally come to the realization, as slow as I am, that it is indeed something on the lens. You see the black dot up in the right there. Pretty sure that's something on the lens. And if maybe you thought that's what it was all along. I thought, Tom, get a grip. It's something on the lens. Well, let me know that. I really I don't get very much in the way of people's opinions other than what they write in the comments section, and that's not very much necessarily. Now these do look like missiles and guns. You can see a gun straight up from the 6 o'clock position underneath this thing. It's sticking out. I'm sure looks like a missile of some kind. It's bent, of course. And moving to the left of those missiles sticking out, we have another superstructure, a couple of them. Not as sure that these were superstructures in the same way that they were up above this part of the hill. If you go up a ways, those are more the type of superstructures I'm talking about. These just look like pieces of vessel. Sometimes you just don't know where they're from. But this thing here in the middle is crazy, and you can see the superstructure on it. It's still attached. It looks like it could possibly have been flattened out on the left-hand side of it, but it might be shaped that way too. I'm not really sure. But it's sticking out from the hillside here, and you can see the windows, the black windows, and there's a little white dot in one of those windows. Who knows what that is? Seems like that would be about the right size for somebody's head, but who knows? And there's a shot where you can see how it's sticking out of the side of the hill, with everything that's blurry is in the background. But there's something really weird about this picture, guys. I don't understand it. Right in front of this vessel, you see these pieces of hull sticking up, and on the right side a little bit bigger, and on the left a little 2 or 3 little pieces sticking up. And my question is where are those pieces of hull resting? What are they resting on? It looks like they're resting on the blurred out part in the background. See what I mean? It's a little weird. It could be that they're attached to something on this side of that blurry area, and not resting on anything. It is sort of attached. That's a really cool looking vessel. This was quite a busy area. There's so many things to look at on the ground. And of course the ground is never really the ground, because the ground is always covered with the remains of downed vessels. But I guess the part that we walk on, we would call it the ground. So there it is. Some more pieces of that hull. And if you look at that slab right in the middle, where it connects, coming in from the 3 o'clock position, it looks like it was connected all along that at one point. It just sort of flopped down. It's amazing what a couple, 2 or 3, 4, 5 million years of erosion on Mars will do. A couple more superstructures here. One on the bottom seems to have looks like a gun sticking out of it. More superstructures. So you look at these lines that are windows, and you picture yourself walking around inside there. Very interesting picture here. I don't know what this is. It could be missiles, could be guns, could be something that's just eroded. I don't know. But that's a serious junk pile right there. Now this is the back side of a vessel that's on the ground down at the base of this pile. And on the far right of the screen, coming in from 3 o'clock, you can see where it's been broken off in the front. And you can see a window there. This would be the cockpit window. And then down below the cockpit window, there's a line of windows that at a certain point, as you move left, they become somewhat obscured. But you can definitely see the shapes of the windows here. And you can definitely see where the front end of this thing is broken off. And right here is a real obvious triangle. I just thought I'd point it out. It's fairly decimated. So my theory on size is you look at these superstructures where you see what look like rows of windows. You picture yourself walking around on the inside there. So how big does that make everything else? It makes everything else huge. And Wayne, on the other hand, from MarsForm, thinks that they are little people. So, as I said, he's got some really great insight, and it's worth taking a look at, and I think you should go see his channel. Superstructure here. Down on this thing here underneath, you can see what looks like a couple sets of windows. Maybe a gun on top of that thing sticking up. I wish we had unlimited pictures of these areas. Wouldn't it be great, like with the new rover they're sending up that has a drone attached, so it can take off and fly around. Underneath this gray thing here is a square pattern. Again, I don't know what it is, but it's very square. You can see a box sitting there, a pretty square box on the lower right-hand corner of this picture. And right in front here, this brownish colored thing that's broken in half, I'm pretty sure that's another triangular vessel that is heavily deteriorated. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.